Sorry, First Corinthians 7:14, please. 17. For the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through his wife, and the unbelieving wife has been sanctified through her believing husband. Otherwise, your children will be unclean. Okay? Which means when you have an unsanctified wife,
this
okay,
is a
and
demonstration
then you have
of
an
Wirecast.
unsanctified husband, that means a man that is disconnected from the grace of the family in heaven, and a woman that is disconnected from the grace of the family in heaven, you are going to breed animals. All right, so what it means, let me bring it back. What it means is, if you are going to breed through humans, there must be a man, okay, who is connected to the family in heaven, takes his fathering responsibility and fathering instruction from the Father of all. Okay? Only then can he be an effective father on the earth. Because there is a model in heaven. Okay? So, Paul says, now, he says, but this is what happens. Sometimes, one of you is sanctified, and the other person is not. So, two things will happen. The one can sanctify, okay? That is, make holy. That's what it basically means. Make holy by conduct, by behavior, by action, by commitment. Make this other one holy by association. Okay? So for those of you who are married to men or women who do not know Jesus, okay, your capacity, your grace, okay, can cover them. But whichever way, while you are still working on them, he says the product of that marriage has the high propensity to be sanctified.
This is a demonstration
because
of Wirecast.
One person has that connection. So this is it. However bad your marriage may be or your children parenting skills may be, there is hope for you. If at least one of the two parties has that connection. So don't give up. Well, my wife is not ever at home, or my husband is hardly ever at home. Don't give up, okay? As long as one of the two parties agrees with the family in heaven, there is hope for that family.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You understand that? That basically is what Paul was writing about here. And let me go on. So, again, second thing I want to say about the purpose of family is families are joint heirs to the covenant of the promise of God. So, in that wise, a family value is designed to be transgenerational. I'm grateful to God that those of us who live in or who are parenting in this time, we actually didn't have very serious models. And I think I'll talk a little bit about that maybe at some point. About model, about real three family patterns. 3 family patterns, okay? What I call the traditional pattern, and then the second one is the Western culture pattern, and then the kingdom pattern.
This is a demonstration of
one that
Wirecast.
Play the game by is the one that is the kingdom pattern, because kingdom or family is God's idea for kingdom expansion. Family is not a Western culture idea. Family is not an African culture idea. Family exists in God. Family started with God. God of heaven made the first family. So if you're going to be an effective parent, you have to know what did he have in mind.
This is a demonstration of
When he was
Wirecast.
establishing that first man and his wife and giving them those 2 boys. Okay? Very, very important. That tells you something, that nobody can be an effective parent, and that the guarantee of the predictable outcome for your children turning out well is very suspect if you are not connected to the one who planted family as a model. He's the architect. What did he have in mind? That's why, without any apologies, I want to say this.
This
You
is a
cannot be an
demonstration
effective
of
parent
Wirecast.
if you are not connected to the pattern of heaven. What that means is, breaking it down, you need to know that God who established family life. In the 21st century, the way you know him is by coming through his son Jesus. Because the Bible says nobody knows the Father. The Son has revealed him. So, even when you don't have, in a case where you don't have model of good parenting yourself.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Your mom did not know God. You can, if you will connect to the Father of Spirit, then come through Christ, he will begin to reveal the Father to you. Okay? So don't tell me I grew up as orphan or I grew up as under a very bad father or a very bad mother. It's not an excuse. Once you connect to the Father, Jesus will reveal the Father to you. So you can be acting, you can be an effective parent. Even when you grew up under a very terrible parenting, you can break that hold. Okay? Somebody listen to this today. All right. Write down the book of Acts 2:39, just for reference. So, what am I trying to say? I'm not trying to say parenting is perfect. No parenting is perfect. We're all still learning and still growing in this. But at least we are following.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
We are listening to the one who is the founder of family. There are no right techniques, okay? But as long as we continue to follow the Father, we'll be fine. Okay, so this is it. Let me give you these tips. If you're going to be an effective parent, these things you must do. Number one, you have to depend daily on the help of the Holy Spirit, which is the Spirit of the Father of family.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay? Daily. Number two, you have to receive daily instructions from the manual he wrote and gave. Instructions. You want to get this right? You want to do it right? This is the manual. That's the Bible. You have to get it right. One of the things that people deceive themselves and say, I don't need to know the Bible to be a good parent. I don't need to read the Bible to be a good parent. To be able to raise godly children.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
We tell people you don't know how successful you are being in parenting until 10 generations after you, your great-grandchildren will see what they are doing. Parenting is a transference of spirits. Okay? So, when you lay the foundation in the Spirit of God, you can look in your grave 100 years from today, and your children's to third generation will be manifesting goodly values, godly values, and being solutions to the world and not problems. So we are looking beyond 10, 20 years. We are looking into 100 years. That's where you know the power of your parenting. Somebody here with me? I've mentioned two things, all right? This is a
demonstration of Wirecast.
What did I mention about tips? Number one, daily. Two. Now, three. This one God cannot do for you. You have to do. Mutual agreement between the spouses. Now, this is very hard for those of you who are single parents, and I really feel for you. It's really hard because the child or the children are living with you, and then the man or the woman is somewhere else. And they spend time with you on vacation.
This
you tell them this.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Then they go to the other person, and he tells them something totally different. And then the kids are in the midst of both of you, being pulled on different extremes, and they don't know what to do. And they get dysfunctional. I really feel for you. But again, I always tell people that if you're a single parent, one of the things you need to do is you need to look for a model, a good parenting model, whether a woman, and adopt that person into your life. Maybe your sister, maybe your church, maybe your friend, maybe your boss. If you're a woman, you may need to look for a man who is a true model of the family of heaven and follow that suit. Send your children to spend time with him a lot more than they spend time with your spouse. Somebody listen to this. Am I helping somebody here this morning? So for those of you who are saying, I'm a single parent, I can't agree. That's the wisdom of God there. Okay.
This is a demonstration
Let
of
me give you some basic
Wirecast.
truths. Number one, children are like sponge. They will copy you in whatever you model. So what does that mean? They will become who you are, never what you say. So who are you before them? If you're going to have a great children, you have to be a great
This is a
parent.
demonstration of Wirecast.
Because they will suck up everything. Good, bad, ugly, they will suck it up. You are just joking, you think. They are sucking everything up. Say, that's not how to do. I'm just doing that because whatever it is. You are joking, no? What you have done exactly is what they will suck up. That's number one truth. Number two, charity, they say, begins at home. That's one of our speakers' names. So she begins at home.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Which basically means that you're not going to get great children just by sending to the Sunday school. You have to teach them from the home. That is the main reason why we convene this meeting. To put in your hand tools so that you can take the destiny of your children's life out of Sunday school teachers of 1 hour in a week. That is when you bring them to church.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So taking the shaping of your children's life into your own home. Having the tools to be able to walk with them, to be that effective parent that God designed for you to do. So church is a makeshift. Church is not God's perfect will to training your children. Okay? The perfect pattern for training your children is your home. And that's why we're doing this. Now,
this is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Children will go anywhere they are loved and accepted. So if you don't make your home acceptable, loving, they will go somewhere else. It's a matter of time. They will talk to someone in school. They will follow someone on the internet simply because you are just too proud. Don't forget, you are a proud 35-year-old man or woman who don't bend. You're unbending. 2 Timothy 3.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So, by reason of those things, you are toxic, and you create a toxic home environment. So your children want to stay long in school than coming home because you have not created an atmosphere of love. So they're going to be modeled by, somebody's going to model fatherhood to them. Wherever they feel love and acceptance, they're just going to go in that direction. Again, I must say this. It takes a godly parent to raise godly children. So many of you come here today and say, I want to raise godly children. The simple question I have for you is, how godly are you yourself? That's a fraud to want to make something that you have not become yourself. Especially when we look at it that children sponge up everything that we give to them. All right, so let me go to the point of parental agreement. Like I said, this is very hard, a lot harder for single parents and for those of you who are or step parents.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
People who have lost their spouses go to marry and then they take their kids with them. Okay? And then they marry someone whose value is totally different. Because they're in a hurry to marry, because they're under pressure to marry, because they don't want to be branded a widow or a widower. Okay? And that's becoming a phenomenon. It's becoming something quite evident, even in Africa today. Okay? But let's talk about the power of agreement. There should be no conflicting rules. The more the agreement and the more the consistency, the better for the family.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
The more the agreement and the more the consistency of the agreement, the better it is for the family. Which means parents should agree on these following things. Number one, don't argue or be confrontational in front of your children. If you disagree, go into your room, close the door, and talk it among yourselves until both of you can agree. But again, I understand. There is a dysfunctional man or a dysfunctional woman who must prove a point that he or she is right.
This is a demonstration of
I
Wirecast.
must say it to the shame of the man in front of the children. Is that right? I feel sorry for you, but you can pray, and God will help you change that. Number two, you need to agree. You need to agree that the Bible will be the final authority for shaping your family values. So if you want to agree on anything and you find it very hard to agree, you say, well, what does God's word say concerning this? That must be a very, very strong, valid position that you have to take.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Family is God's idea, and He gave the manual called the Bible. So you never go wrong when you consult the manual, owner's manual. That's the owner's manual. Okay? Number three, you have to make efforts. You have to agree at making efforts at using technology to monitor your children. And Charity Begins at Home will do a great job of that. Okay? How do you effectively, you have to agree.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You have to be a spy, the spy who loves me. So you have to learn to spy on them digitally. Okay? Very important, because that is another space altogether that exists, that a lot of things are happening there that are parenting your children and that you do not know. Okay, so you need to agree on that we will use technology. So we need to learn. I need to learn how to press some button. You need to know how to press some button. Okay. So that basically, I don't like it, but so that we can use that tool to be able to monitor this, our investments. Because that's who they are. They are your what? Remember how much you pay in school fees. Don't forget to. All right. Number 4, insist upfront that your children, and I want to say this, insist upfront to your children as they're growing up. For those of you who are just coming, I'm talking about how to parent teenagers. And I said teenage years are the most volatile of the parenting experience. That's what I'm talking about.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You need to insist on them upfront. Agree together. Both of you must agree together upfront that your children must marry believers of the same kingdom value. So that you can ensure peace for you in your old age. I mean, when you read the story of is it Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob's parents, I remember that Jacob's mother said, see, Esau went to marry someone from a far place. Today, they have become
This is a demonstration of
Wirecast. They bring us
Wirecast.
sorrow. But how many people know that by the time their child has married somebody who is a strange person, and they begin to raise grandchildren, you can't do anything, it's too late. Okay? So, while you are still parenting them, it is your responsibility to sit down and tell them one of the non-negotiables of our family is you will not marry someone who is not of the same kingdom value.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Once a man comes into your life, before you say yes, once a woman comes, before you say yes, come and tell me about it. But of course, you must have created an environment of love and acceptance so they can trust you and know that you have their best intentions at heart. This is what happens to the African traditional family. You want to insist that they cannot marry that person when you had lost them years back. You suddenly just wake up when they are 25.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
They say that, and then the next thing they do, God help you, if they don't go and get pregnant for that person, just to spite you. Because you were never there. You were never their friend. You never showed them acceptance and love. Suddenly you want to be involved in who I marry. I thought you never cared. You were never available. So listen, while they are growing up as young, you need to say to them, a time is going to come when you will give your heart to a woman. A time will come in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, when you will give your heart to a man. Do me the honor of letting me have an input so that I can guide you. Because this is it. And tell them the implication of marrying someone who doesn't have a covenant with God. So that together with you, they can make a decision and say, okay. So is that, see, look at your mom and myself. the reason we're able to agree, the reason things are moving forward, the reason we have a bit of support, the reason we're able to move forward is because we are both of the same covenant and of the same value system. We both share the same God value.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Parenting is not complete until you probe into the future of their marriage. Not control them then, no, but talk to them about it now. Okay. Are we going somewhere, people? So let's continue about this discussion of how to parent a teenager. I spoke about, and let me give you the scriptures. You need to read this. I'll write them down. I'll just share two of them. Genesis chapter 18, verse 18 and 19. Again,
this
Genesis
is a
18,
demonstration
18
of
and 19.
Wirecast.
Deuteronomy 4, verse 9. Deuteronomy 4, verse 9. Deuteronomy 6 and 7. Psalm 78, 1 to 8. Ephesians 6, verse 4.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Ephesians 6, verse 4. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14 and 15. 2 Timothy 3, 14 and 15. Colossians 3, verse 21. Colossians 3, verse 21. Now, a little bit of insight into this. In Genesis, God said, I can beat my chest for Abraham, that he will teach his children my way in my ways, and he will transfer to them the things I have taught him. I can trust him. God said that, and God wants to be able to say that concerning you, that you also can transfer what is taught you to your children. But that means you have to know something. A lot of parents today have no clue about God. They know about how to make money. They know about how to hustle. They know about how to do everything. The only thing we don't know how to do is how to walk with God. And if we don't know how to walk with God, how do we know what is His mind and His plan for family?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
God wants you to be able to teach your children these values. You can't teach what you don't know. You have to know. So this means that one of the habits you have to take away from here is a new commitment to knowing God's revealed will, which is the Bible. You need to have, first of all, you need to have a deliberate plan to know the Bible yourself. Read it daily. Look through its contents daily, not when you go to your church, whatever church you go to. I'm talking about that. Because only then will you be able to catch the spirit of the Father of all families. And then you can transfer the same. Let me read the book of Ephesians 6, verse 4, and Colossians verse 21 for you in the Amplified Version. This is what it says. Ephesians 6, 4. It says, fathers, do not irritate and provoke your children to anger. Do not exasperate them to resentment.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Now, you will agree with me, that's one of the big problems in parenting. You go on overdrive just to parent them. He said, but rear them tenderly in the training and discipline and the counsel and admonition of God. Now, the Bible spoke that to fathers because the Bible, it was written in the context of a patriarchal setting. Okay? Because it was written in the context of the East.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
But we know that in Christ, there is neither male nor female. Is that right? Okay. Not only is it in Christ, but also in the 21st century. Somebody only one person got the joke. If you do not understand, you cannot live patriarchal in this 21st century, you will suffer. Don't let me say more than that. Colossians 3, verse 21. We just read Ephesians 6,
this
verse 4.
Is a demonstration of Wirecast.
It says, fathers, do not provoke or irritate or fret your children. Do not be hard on them or harass them. Oh, no, that's NKJV I'm reading. I'm reading Amplified. I'm amplifying it. It says, lest they become discouraged and sullen and morose.
This is a demonstration
And
of
feel inferior
Wirecast.
and frustrated. Do not break their spirits. Now, this basically means it is possible to break your child's spirit in the course of trying to parent them. How do you do that? And many of us have been doing it without knowing, in ignorance. And we have a lot of animals in our hand that we have raised who are just waiting to leave your home.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So that they can unleash the same hazard on some people. All right. So, in the context of parenting, and I said that earlier on, so these things play out. Number one, parenting by third world parents. And I'm speaking, I believe generally I'm speaking to parents in the third world. Okay? It's different from parenting in the Western culture. The parenting in the third world is basically very traditional. Very traditional, very patriarchal, very harassing, very provoking, very irritating, designed to break the child's spirit. Parenting in the Western culture is very permissive. You can do whatever you like.
This is a demonstration of
Which is
Wirecast.
another total extreme. One is an extreme breaking spirit capacity. One is an extreme liberal agenda. Now, what's the midpoint? The midpoint is kingdom parenting. Kingdom parenting is that which you take from the heart of the one who made family. Now, those are my descriptions, okay? So this meeting we're talking about that. All right, I want you to give me the on the screen. Give me the wheel. Give me the wheel. I want to illustrate something. I want to talk to you about the parenting wheel. I want to talk to you about the parenting wheel. That looks like the wheel of your car. All right. I decided to not use anyone with branding so that you won't say, that's my car wheel. Okay. In the wheel, you see there 5 spokes. And then you see around in the circumference.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
This is the rim of a car. Forget about the outer part, which is tire. Then right in the midst of it, there's a hub. That's the thing that strengthens all those 5 parts and then the whole thing. There's that hub that holds it. You can see that it's welded there. If that hub is not there, the all 5 are going to crumble. That will give you a little bit of idea about how to be effective in parenting. I'll talk about this 5. I'll talk about the hub, and I'll talk about the rim.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
One of the first things in effective parenting is you need to keep the end in mind. Keep the end in mind. Amongst all the daily pressures. There are pressures for you as a parent, economic pressures in a country that is going through recession. You have economic pressure, so you're very hungry. Money is not coming in as you expect it to do. You've lost your job. Business is not doing fine. You are behind in your bills. You are very, very angry and very confused.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You also have a child who is under a lot of extreme pressure. One of the pressures that your child has, I just say is this. Every time you show up to pick him or her in school, because you are going through a time of pressure economically, and you haven't been able to fix your broken car, the light or the rim or the paint that is washed off and colors change, as you drive into the school to pick him, he covers his face.
This is a demonstration
and
of
says
Wirecast.
Things like, my rep just flew out through the window. Your economic pressure costing him his rep. You are angry with him for keeping you late. He is angry with you for coming in this kind of car.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So in the midst of all these pressures, you have to keep the end in mind. What is the end? I'm going to come to that. Okay, number 2. You need to know how to meet your children's need so they feel loved unconditionally. One of the things you have to learn is know that that human being has specific need. You need to find out what those needs are and how do I meet these needs.
This
Number
is a
3.
demonstration of Wirecast.
So, and I know you have your needs. You know, as parents, you know you have needs, and you think you are the only one who has needs. Okay, number 3. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. Now, what are the boundaries you need to set? One of the things you need to let your children know is that, see, in this place, you have to respect elders. You have to respect elders. Why? Because the Bible says that. And let me tell you this. If you don't teach your children to respect elders, they will disrespect you one day. Okay? So, teach them, tell them, this is non-negotiable. You have to respect elders. One of the things you also need to do, look, I know it's all over the place. Everybody is doing some drugs or whatever, or cult, whatever. In this home, no. No drugs, no all those things. If I catch you, I will ground you. You see, they have not done it. What happens is you're careless about it. They have gone deep into it. They're not beginning to fight
Wirecast.
to reclaim them. You are setting boundaries before they ever happen. No drugs. No late nights. And late nights means any time that maybe you can say, well, from, depending on whatever, is it from 9 o'clock or from 7 o'clock? I don't know, whatever it is, depending on the security of your environment. Now, you need to let them know they just kidnapped one child 2 months ago.
This is a demonstration
we all heard about
of Wirecast.
Do you want to be kidnapped? Say, one, you tell them that they are human beings. They have sense. They love their lives too, even unto death. So they will tell you, okay, all right, so what do we do? So you work out an agreement, but there is no, so if we agree on this, you must not exceed this. If you must exceed this, you have to stay where you are. But I need to also know. And that is also another thing. Entirely. Okay, let's go on. Another thing you can talk to them. There are no sex before marriage.
This is a demonstration
they have
of
not
Wirecast.
started having the sex. You have not caught them with boyfriend or girlfriend. But you are telling them, these are the boundaries. If you have unwanted pregnancy, you will stop school. I will not pay school fees. You will go and be selling pepper on the streets. It is your own rep that will destroy. If you think you did it for me, so keep your pants up. Don't let anybody speak into your head. Don't father a child. You will drop out of school. You will have to go and be doing agbiru to feed your own child. You see, once you let them know that, then when their friends start to say to them, let's do sex, they'll say, agbiru. It will stick in agbiru. If their friends say to them, let's go and do late nights, Evans, the kidnapper. You've already programmed them. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So it means there's an intentional work that is needed to parents.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay. I've said that. So when you set these boundaries, you help them to have a sense of responsibility. That's really why it is. So they take responsibility for their own lives, and they're happy doing that. Number 4, help them develop emotional health. Emotional health. You need to help them learn how to handle their emotions. How do they handle hunger? Which is very vital in forming strong relationships.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Anger in young people not managed. They become 35-year-olds. They beat their wife. They bite their husbands. You get what I'm saying? That's it. That's where it starts from. Because someone, when they were 15, 14, whatever, never helped them manage anger. A lot of young people are very, very angry. They are angry at everything. You'll be surprised at what they are angry with. They may not make sense to you, but they are angry. Number 5, help them make choices. And I'm talking about the first 5 spokes in that.
This is a demonstration of
wheel.
Wirecast.
Help them make good choices. It's your job to help them make good choices. That's why I spoke earlier on about, upfront, tell them, whenever someone is trying to come into your life as a lover, I'll check them out. I have experience of how many years, so I can help you. You can learn from my experience, and I'll give it to you free of charge. So let them know that, so that when they sit down, because you love them, and because they know that you have earned their trust, okay, they will come and talk to you. All right. On the rim, everything I'm talking about on that rim,
this is a demonstration of Wirecast.
That's really it is. Whether it's helping them set boundaries, whether helping them make choices, good choices, they are all together in modeling values. And I said to you earlier on that the purpose of family is to help your children become good, value-add citizens of the world. Okay? That's your job. That's what you are going to, that's your aim. That this boy in my hand or this girl in my hand
is a demonstration of
become value, very, very value-driven. Thank you so much. Okay. You should have come a lot earlier, though. So, I'm going to listen to you, but half. All right. Number 6. I have them. Number 7. Teach them to love. Teach them to love. You need to teach them to love. You need to create that atmosphere. I can never overemphasize that. Okay? It is the love. It is love that makes that
demonstration
move
of
straight.
Wirecast.
And love is that one in the middle. That's the hub. Okay? Anything you do, whatever it is you do for your child or do with your child, have that at the back of mind. I'm doing it for love. I'm doing it for love. Many times in a particular environment, you're doing it for self-gain. I feel so pained, I must punish you. Okay? I must show you I'm the one who pays the rent. I must show you with my 2 breasts, I breastfed you. Oh, those are others. And you can't do that. Okay? To be an effective parent, you have to let the child know that even the rebuke is for love. Okay? Okay? The enhancement is for love. Everything. So my dad loves me. My mom loves me. I am the priority for my mom and my dad. So whatever I did say, it's easier for them to take it. We need to run. I thought about pressure. 3 things that will remove the pressures from parents. Number 1, you need to be ready to make adjustments. The pressure of parenting is so heavy, so high. How do you remove these pressures? Number 1, be ready while you are parenting to make adjustments. I'll explain that in a bit. Number 2, you need to understand transitions. By that I mean, why they act the way they do. A lot of us parents are very ignorant of the chemical changes and the seasons of transitioning that your children are going through. And then number 3, remember your long-term aim. All right, what's your long-term aim? Hey, come on, give it back to me. What's your long-term aim?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
To raise value-driven children. For those of you who just coming in, you need to get that tape. That's your job. That's what you are called to do. The reason God gave you that child is to raise for him on the earth, okay, someone who will manifest values of God on the earth. Values of love, values of respect, values of providing solution to people's problems, values of friendship, values of love.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Like we spoke about, okay? All right. Did I say the 3rd one? All right. Now, let me quickly throw some light on these things when I talk about ready to make adjustment. The time of teenage years is a time of transition. They are changing. We also need to change. And part of the changes you need to do is stop treating your teenager or 17, 18-year-old teenager like a 7-year-old. We do that a lot because we never see them grow.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
But they have changed. You have changed. You need to be able to know that you can't hold them back like a 7-year-old that you used to train them as, okay? So you need to go from being strict to negotiating after a while. Okay? No, I've been opportunity to see my aunts, my maternal aunt, beat my cousin, her daughter. She was about 17 or 18.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I was very young, but I was thinking, I say, this doesn't look right, though. What if this girl flees back and gives this woman one uppercut? They will say, she will be cursed. You get what I'm saying? Say, you need to understand that when they grow beyond that child thing, okay, you also need to change. You need to make adjustments, okay? If you don't make the adjustment, you will irritate them, you will provoke them, you will exasperate them, you will break their spirit, and they will fight back.
This is a
They'll be looking for a day
demonstration of
when they will grow out of
Wirecast.
your home and never come back. For your sake, they will relocate abroad and never come home. May that not be your portion in Jesus' name. All right. So change your approach to communication style. Don't overreact or take their behavior personally. One of the big problems that parents have. They take everything personal. They do something personal. I will explain that, what I mean by that. Don't try to control them anymore. I already said that. Because that's easier.
This is a demonstration of
Take control like
Wirecast.
7-year-olds and say, sit down there, come here. That's very simple. They are not humans. Okay? You're treating like a machine. And that is easier for you to handle. But it's bad for them. So you need to be able to know that. And then go on. Let me say something. You need to let them have freedom. Teenagers want freedom. They want to be listened to, not dictated to. They may not talk while you are listening to them, but they have what they are doing in their mind.
This is a demonstration
You
of
don't know.
Wirecast.
You're too covered by too overcome, okay, by your desire to control, to notice that your child is gone. I a particular young woman who said, I got married at that age, and it shattered her life. Got married at a very young age. While she was in university, she was looking for someone to date, someone to go out with. She had not even finished university when she grabbed this man. She didn't like him. I mean, nobody will know. Good guy. The guy poured all his love on her, did everything for her, but he never liked her.
This is a demonstration
Never liked her.
of Wirecast.
Later he said, one of the reasons I quickly had to leave home was because my dad was nasty, my stepmother was an animal. I hope that's not your case. So the child will be waiting to quickly jump out because there are nowhere else to go. All right, so you need to make the adjustment. Number 2, you need to understand the transition. Why did they act the way they do? Okay? Now, first of all, you need to know that many of your teenagers are battling with insecurity.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And they are trying hard to find their paths in life. That's one of the pressures that they are going through. They are evolving into full humanhood. And you do not know the changes that are going inside them. They are behaving the way they are behaving. You are reacting to what you see on the external, but they are going through a lot of changes on the inside. So how they are going through that insecurity. They are changing in hormones and brain development. This will affect things like their sexuality,
This is
their
a
behavior.
demonstration of Wirecast.
You don't know these things. You just see the child acting cranky and putting up an attitude, and you say, I will break you. I will break you. You do not understand that what changes are going on inside them. So that means to be aware of them. I'll explain some of them. Number three, their brains have grown to your expectation. I know some of you will say, well, you are 18 years old, for crying out loud. You are no longer 10 years old.
Of Wirecast.
Some of your children actually don't grow into full teenage until they are 25. All right, one of the manifestations of teenage. Some of their guys, they take some blind risks that does not make sense. Like grabbing your car key. You've never driven in life. You went for family defense seminar.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
Before you got home, your teenager had taken car key, crying again, and ran into the fence, ran into the bread cellar, ran into the gate, destroyed the car, destroyed the gate, and she should not have somebody. How would things like that? They have not grown in their brain. They have grown in their body. They haven't grown in their brain. Now, this is what you do. So you go to town. You are looking at the pain, economic pain. Now
This
get an
is a
insurance, okay?
demonstration of Wirecast.
If you must. Because that child, okay, has not grown to that. Okay, and it's still growing. All right. And you will see, if you are careful to work with them in the changes, you will see that the changes that you'll notice in their later teenage years will be better than the early teenage years. They're just growing. Okay? So these parents have to chill. You are too traditional.
This
Learn
is
to
a
do what?
demonstration of Wirecast.
You are not saying it because you don't want to say it. Me chill. Eh? If you do not chill, you will lose them. They will stop talking to you. They will say, yes, daddy. That's okay. I like that. No problem, sir. You say we are best behaved. They are the best in the world. They are gone. Okay? Okay. Where was I, please? All right, understand the transitions. I already said.
This is a
Now,
demonstration
there are two
of
brain bursts
Wirecast.
that happens in the life of the growing life of a child. When they are a toddler, okay, there is a burst of hormones and a lot of wirings. And what it does for them is, I'll talk about that to my church. I won't talk about that. But what this does, the first thing it does, it helps them have balance. That's how your children learn to stand and walk. That's the first burst that happens. Another burst that happens is at the later part of their teenage life.
This
now,
is a
that
demonstration
one is for
of
memory and for
Wirecast.
emotions. Now, they are having that hormonal bursts, hormonal changes inside. And you do not know. Now, if you are going to be fair to those children, when you cast your mind back to when you were their age, you will see the same thing. I remember, as a 14, 15-year-old, I had older brothers. I always sometimes feel like beating them. I was bigger. Their mouth would not test them.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And you won't think, I look to you like a very gentle, quiet guy, is that right? But that gentle, quiet teenager has a lot of hormonal changes going on inside him, wirings, trying to test things out. And they're going to try a lot of things. So you need to be the one to give them the balance. Praise the name of Jesus. Amen. All right, so what should you do? Number one, help them set the boundaries. Number two, give them your love. Give them your affirmation. Give them your acceptance.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
I need to run this now. Finish this. Okay? Hello? You need to understand the pressures they are facing. Social pressures, then pressures from you. You put them under a lot of pressure. You must have A in mathematics, A in physics, A1 new. Sorry, what you want? How much? By how much I'm making, it must be A1 or A star. So you put a lot of parental pressure. Society puts its own pressure on them. What's societal pressure? Every advertiser targets your children. The sneaker, Nike, targets your children. The people trying to sell all manner of things, they are targeting your children. And that's a lot of pressure on them. You need to understand this, that how do they cope with these pressures and what do they do with them? And these are their own issues too. Praise the Lord. Amen. Of course, I spoke about peer pressure. Some of the peer pressures is to smoke. I remember, and I don't know about you, but I can talk about myself. I remember that by age 12, 13, I started smoking. Okay, I can still remember the stick, the smoke, the Margaret. My church members are looking at me and say, "You pastor, eh?" Mm-hmm. Yes, I smoked. Mm-hmm. And I remember also that I drank. And I got that from somebody who got it from somebody. What we drank was gin and lime. It was the trend in there. I think it's the NSC that trends now. So you're trying to do some NSC.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Because there is a lot of friends telling them you're not cool. And they want to be cool. So you need to sit the children down and tell them, look, there is nothing called cool. What is cool is falsehood. You are cool. We're not cool. Okay? You are brilliant. You are smart. Your parents love you. We give you everything you need. We listen to you. You go everywhere you want to go. We have boundary on time to come in and time to go out. You can take my car because I need to driving school. You wear whatever you want to wear. Are you not
This is a
cool?
demonstration of Wirecast.
So when you let them know that they are cool, okay. When the friends tell them, you are not cool, they say, I'm cool. Okay, because you have helped them make decisions when the peer pressures come. So you need to befriend them. Many of you don't talk to your children. You pay school fees, you pay house rent, you go out in the morning, you come back late in the night, you have your dinner, you jump into bed, you leave the walk to the house help, you don't talk to them. Weekends, you are out on fellowship.
This is a demonstration of
Prayer meeting.
Wirecast.
You are out on old boys association, old girls, or out on O1B, or you want to be out anywhere. You just want to go out. Milewaku. That's your attitude. So you're never there for them. Okay? So you cannot help them, okay, in this transition moment. But I believe that God will help you in the name of Jesus. So they are exposed to alcohol. They are exposed to prostitutes. I remember that by age 15, my friends were taking me to prostitutes.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So we'll say, let's just, in fact, I remember I was in secondary school, they imported girls, okay, to my part of the city, and they gave me one. I thank God for grace. Even though I don't know Jesus then, I said to myself, where I came from, if they hear that I am following prostitutes, that's what saved me. It wasn't because of Jesus. It was because of the fear of where I came from. This is a demonstration
of Wirecast.
Because I couldn't afford to disappoint my family, who was spending so much money out of nothing to send me to school. I love them too much. They give me a room for love that I couldn't disappoint them. So I said, no, I can't do it. And they called me Egbe, as they called me. So I was not cool, and I was okay with it. Okay, praise the Lord. All right, let me close this. Then, is this pressure that makes them join confraternities too? Okay.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
They love them. They listen to them. They complain to them about the pressure you are putting them through. How you always complain about them, how you're always angry at them. And many of you are very hungry parents. You're very hungry because money is not coming in, because things are not going. They are not the cause of your problem. Nigerian government is. Okay, so don't put your attention on those children and destroy them. Okay, take it to God in prayer, and work hard with your own hands and make money.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Don't be hungry with children for no just cause. Many of you are too hungry. You don't even talk to them, and they talk to you, say, That's very bad. Ask them, what do they want to talk about? Okay, so if you do that, they won't have to go and join confraternities. Solutions to help your child become healthy by building their esteem. Be friendly to them. I've said that. Deliberately explain life to them so that they can define their own personalities outside their peers. Okay?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
But to talk about introduce them to salvation through Christ. Because a time came, the good things that my family was noted for could no longer sustain me. I started drinking. I started smoking. I started going out to places I'm not supposed to go out to. Okay? It couldn't sustain me anymore because now I was growing as a teenager and I wanted to explore. But thank God, just in the nick of that time, Jesus came into my heart and I gave my life to Christ. And that changed the whole thing.
This is a demonstration of
because
Wirecast.
One of the things is about nature and nurture. The reason I know that what helped me was coming to knowledge of Jesus was because my brothers, okay, don't have the same opportunity that I have. They didn't give life to Jesus. I did. And that changed a lot of things in my life. So today, we are not even in the same place. They are struggling with issues in their life that I'm not struggling with. Because at that age, I got introduced to the author of life. Okay? Then, disciple them into a word-based life. Make up your mind. One of the things you can do is this. I'll tell you what our children, when they were growing up as teenagers, and I'm using my time. I'm not going to tell you to ask me questions. So I'm just using a bit of my question time to talk about this. Okay? So in case you are trying to ask me question, I'm not going to answer any question. So I'm just using my time up. Okay. Now, I was talking something about my
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Oh, yeah, one of the things I do with my children, one of the things you have to choose their association. Their main association at that age is the schools they go. You need to choose their schools deliberately. Is it a word-based school? By that, do they teach them the word of God? Some parents complain and say, I send my child to school to learn physics and chemistry and biology. I don't send him to go and pray. You don't pray with them. You don't read Bible with them.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Now, there is an environment that is created to teach them in the word of the Lord, and you say that is not a cool school. So those children spend 6 years in your cool school. They are formative ages where they are sharing them condoms, where they are making out with girls in the same room behind the toilets. That's the kind of school you like, because that's the kind of school that is happening. Okay?
This is
what
a
that will happen to you is
demonstration
that
of
eventually,
Wirecast.
when they finish the school and they want to come back home, they won't come back to your value. They've gone too far. Okay? So today, we are still able to talk to our children and still go and hang out with them on Google and still pray together. We still did that last night. Okay? Even though they're all over the world. Because there is a value that all of us know. We deliberately send them to school where they can continue where we left off. It's very important. Okay. Number four. Refuse to compare yourself with other families. Don't compare yourself with other families. Because those other families make you look like you have failed as parents. In fact, my wife and I had to break off a couple of relationships at a point in our life where we were really struggling. Now, these friends that we had, we liked them. In fact, they are believers like us. But we saw that they were pushing us too far. When they come to our house, they are looking at what I wear. They are looking at what my wear wears. They are looking at the furniture in our house.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
All they will do for us is they will show us their car and they will show us their new Lexuses and then, my wife and I, we like you, but you put under too much pressure. You are making us look like bad failure. You are making us look like failures. So we said to ourselves, now, power of agreement. I spoke to my wife, she spoke to me. We said, this one, let's cut them off our life. And we did. We are the better for it. All right. So remember your long-term goal.
This is a demonstration of
Wirecast. Don't be
Wirecast.
distracted by the emotion of the moment. For your children, sometimes you are distracted by how much time they are spending. Is that my friend? Bring him forward. Bring him forward. Don't let him sneak away. Bring him to the front. Those are the kind of friends we decide to choose. Friends who can come and support you when you're talking about parenting conference. It's a good place to clap for him. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. All righty. So don't be distracted by the emotions. What are the emotional issues of the moment? Sometimes your children spend too much time on social media network, and you get very, very cross with them. Sometimes they ask you, I want tattoo. Okay? What do you do when they say that? It will happen. Oh. It has happened to me. Oh. And pastors before me. Huh? Okay? Don't fight them. Just sit down and say, okay, you want tattoo, but why do you want tattoo? I just want tattoo like everybody else.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
If you have deposits of trust with them, you will talk them out of it. You negotiate with them out of it. Okay? Why don't you wait until you are 21 and you can afford it? Then you can go and do it and then see how it looks like. But don't let's use my money. When you begin to work, they'll get the message. It is your body, it is your tattoo. Don't use my money, use your own money. Tattoo! Ah! Omoyi! Yeah, pastor! No, you are on overdrive. Sometimes they tell you they want nose studs. I want to pierce my nose. Or belly. I want to pierce my belly. Everybody's doing it. I want to pierce my hand. If they haven't told you yet, they're going to come and tell you. It's the pressure in which they live in today.
This is a demonstration of
So what do you tell them?
Wirecast.
What should you do? Instead, focus on the bigger picture. Make them building your relationship with them. That's your bigger picture. Whatever it is you do, don't lose them. Negotiate with them. Talk to them. Explain to them. Okay? Be wise with them. But let them leave your presence knowing that you have their utmost good at heart. Then they will trust you. Okay? Let them feel good about themselves all the
This
time.
is a demonstration of
Let the child feel
Wirecast.
good about themselves all the time. Sometimes my daughter, okay, who is 20, whatever, she jumps into her bed and stays the night on her bed. She feels accepted. She feels good. I said, go to your room. She said, no, you can't drive me. This is my father's house. You go to your own father's house. Yeah. Okay? So your priority should be to help them learn good character and develop good values, like I spoke to you earlier on. Also, I conclude with this. Learn to speak to them. Tell them well done
This is
if
a
they have done something well.
demonstration of
If
Wirecast.
they did their room well, tell them well done. If you get them instruction and they did it well, say, well done. Thank you. That's good. I'm impressed. Those will affirm them. Don't say, what have you done? Don't say that. That's the way you are trained. You are trained traditionally. Okay? You are trained never to see your father. I know I have a cousin. He's dead now. And one of his sons have died. Very sad. He had a very good job back in those days. He went to work, and when he comes up at work by 5 o'clock,
This is a
he will have
demonstration
dinner
of
and then go
Wirecast.
out to meet his friends and stay till 11 o'clock and then come home. No, after a while, the children became all wayward. He died. They just told me about less than a couple of months back that one of his sons too had died. These are people who are very young, very young. They are very much younger than I am. But they don't have fathers. And so they get stabbed to death. They die under
This
mysterious
is
circumstances.
a demonstration of
Just
Wirecast.
The father doesn't tell them, well done. How did school go? That's a good job. That's a good thing you said. When you say things like that, you affirm them and you help them build their esteem. Have an eye not only on the child, but on the adult your child will become one day. So forget about the issues right now that they are doing wrong. Don't forget, they have a lot of things that are still growing into. Think about who they are going to be in the future. Okay? When you think about the future you want to see, that
This is a
35-year-old man,
demonstration
good
of
value, that's what you are
Wirecast.
thinking about, not the 15-year-old who is messing around and doing what have you. As long as you keep that aim, you will do very well. My job is done. All right. Are you switching me off, or you want me to go another session? All right. And praise, nice to have you.
This is a
Welcome,
demonstration of
Right.
Wirecast.
Pastor Fumi, over to you.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise God. I'm not disappointed that we don't have a very large turnout because, we're not talking about prosperity, how to make money, name it, claim it, but you don't understand that children that you do not train now, whilst we are busy pursuing money, they will drain all that money.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
So congratulate your neighbor for being here today. You will have opportunity to answer questions. What we're trying to do is to try and finish by 3 o'clock. So we're going to be a bit strict on time to encourage you. We have 2 of our speakers here now, and we're really glad to have them. You will enjoy their sessions because they will be imparting to us things that we overlook. Things are happening around us on a day-to-day basis, but we take for granted. So I want you to pay careful attention. The next person I'm going to call now is a wonderful woman. Like my husband said, we deliberately coveted their friendship, especially when we saw that they were people of like values. Because you don't want to be going in the same direction with people that are not going your way. You want to go to Ikoyi and you are heading for Ketu. I don't know how you're going to go there, except you would have to go on a boat and go through, speedboat that will take you somewhere or whatever. If not, you find yourself in Shagamu or in Ibadan. So we had to take a detour and then align ourselves with people who have values that are similar to ours. And I would encourage you to do so. It's never too late to cut off from wrong relationships and align yourself with the right ones. It's called the power of no. You have to learn to do what? Say no. In life, you have to learn to say no. I was sharing with a young lady, a few days back, and I said, you spend too much time on the phone. You spend too much time chatting. You have to develop the capacity to do what? To say no. He said, what does that mean? He said, you will say to yourself, Christy calls me every night and chats for 1.5 hours, sometimes 45 minutes. I'm going to cut that conversation to 15 minutes. Yeah. So immediately Christy calls. What do you tell Christy? Christy, I actually have something doing by 11:30. And once it's 11:29, this conversation will be out in another minute. If you do it 3 times in a row, she will understand what you're saying. You will now find out that you will still have the same gist that you normally would have for 1.5 hours. You would have it for how long? 15 minutes. It's called the power of what? The power of no. Many of you are spending your data on things that do not edify. You have to learn the power of no. But that's not my message today. The person I'm about to introduce to you is a powerful woman. She's a woman of timber and caliber. No, timber and caliber is not working now. Oil and gas. Oil and gas. Okay, let's see. What?
If I have another time, I'll have another session.
A woman of IT. That's what, okay. A woman of internet. Charity Babatunde is the Chief Executive Officer of All Assist Limited, a multifaceted company that offers HR and business support service for local and international organizations. What that means is, you can have a virtual office here. You don't even have to be there. They will do all your administrative things. She's an astute administrator who had worked in the bank for over 20 years. When she resigned from the bank in 2003, and I know when she was a human resource manager for one of the banks then, she was a powerful woman. She was a mover and a shaker. So she's not a push aside, She was head of human resource, not human resource. That means even over and above.
Let's get the facts right.
Let's get the facts right. Let's not introduce her shabbily. At least I know she recruited some of you, under meal here into the bank just by saying bring the CV right in the house, and we just sorted it out. Come on, I doff my cap. On exiting the bank in 2003, she set up Precious Moments Limited. Every time you see me try to package things, I didn't learn it from heaven. I learned it from signing her. Even if she's giving you a tiny little ring, she will bring it in one massive box. I say, what do you care? It says about packaging. In fact, when you see the package, you will not be able to open the gift for about 2 days. You'll be wondering what is inside. I learned it from her. So even if you don't have something good, like you want to really toast your husband, I tell girls you can toast your husband. We are fond of always waiting for the men to come and toast us. But I want to advise women today, just package something today. Ask Precious Woman to teach you how to package. And then wrap it, and say, hey, put it by the side of your husband's bed. Does your husband have a side? Okay, they have side. Because I thought it's only in my house. We all have our sides, And then whenever he moves to my side, I'm like, hello, is something happening today? Everybody should stay on their side of the bed. Okay, that's a story for another day. So just put, that gift by that side and let it show that it was packaged by Precious Moment, Okay, that's also for, that's not what I'm going today. Okay, she set up Rave at All in 2007. So she's a serial entrepreneur. Just these and these and these and that, and does them what excellently. Charity blogs on www.parentinvestment.com. You can please read our blogs. They are always so educative, instructive, and enlightening. And our style is very, very simple. An interactive forum, that's a Parent Investment, to share tips and insights with a view to grooming well-rounded, successful, and productive individual. She's also the convener of Men's Concourse, a platform for physical and digital where men across generations interact and converse to inspire one another. She's an avid reader with a
This is a
thirst for learning
demonstration of
and a penchant
Wirecast.
for adding value. Charity consistently updates her skills by participating in various courses and capacity. The other time she told me, I'm going to Ghana. I say again, I'm writing exam. I say, why are you writing exams? Our last child in our final year in the university, which exam are you still writing? Are you competing with Keaton? She said, you don't understand. She has BSc, MBA, all these AAAA. Okay? She's a certified senior professional in human resource, a certified life coach, and pioneer authorized DQ ambassador in Nigeria. You know, what is DQ? Is digital intelligent quotient. And she is number 1, not in Nigeria, in Africa, to be certified. That is not a fry. So because you're not paying for this seminar does not mean we should trivialize it. So ladies and gentlemen, with Jesus' joy, welcome with me to the podium, the woman of God, Mrs. Charity, the wife of Ladi Babatunde. And you know, by the way, her husband is here. You can do another clap. It takes a great woman to marry a woman like this. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you very much. For me, you want me to forget everything I had planned to say. You know, this introduction can almost confuse somebody. But you know, okay, just to be in order, my time is just starting now, right? Because, well, I don't know who did, but I don't know who did. All right, good morning, everybody. It is a great, 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 great pleasure for me to be here. A great pleasure for me to be here. And Pastor Fumi and Pastor Tokes, thank you very much for the opportunity. Parenting is something I like to talk about, not because I consider myself to be a perfect parent, not at all. I'm sure that those of us that are parents would realize that there's no such thing as a perfect parent. That's number 1. Number 2, you learn on the job. Even today, I've still learned. You keep learning and learning and learning and learning. But it's something that I believe that, and I thank God for Pastor Tokes' message. He virtually said a lot of things that he built the foundation for a lot of things that I'll be talking about. And you keep learning in parenting. You keep learning that no child is the same. Therefore, you cannot have one manual that says, when you're dealing with children, do this and do that. And that's why the Bible says that if any of us lacks wisdom, we should ask of God, who gives liberally and upbraided not. Now, what that means is you go, like Pastor Tok said, you go to the person who created family and say to him, I have a child X. I do not know what to do. Show me what to do, and he does. My prayer today is that you would be able to get some out of some of the wisdom that I believe God has given me in the area that he has equipped me. And, you know, I started talking about parenting or talking to children in 2007, formally. Of course, I have 2 children. One is 23, the other one is 20. You know, and so, I've been in this journey for a while. But I honestly, if you ask me how the interest started, I can't tell you. But I do know that maybe looking at my own childhood and my own growing up, I realized that it is so important. The kind of relationships you have with your children is so important. And it's something we need to be deliberate and intentional about. What it is that a lot of us leave it to chance. I have slides. And the reason why I have slides is so that I would not overshoot. You know, there's a tendency when you're talking about something you like, you keep talking and talking and talking. So the slides will help me. But you know, by the grace of God, we'll do justice to what I have to say. Now, so talking about parenting was something that was a major interest for me. And I'm also, people who know me also know that I like gadgets and I like technology. So when I found an opportunity to mix the two together, my goodness, it was icing on the cake.
Come on.
It just gave me pure, undiluted joy. And today I'm going to be sharing a bit, you know, on a parent's guide to raising responsible digital citizens. Now, the next slide that's going to come up will show you some statistics. It's not very clear, but the bottom line is what it wants to tell you is the statistics of how digitalized our children are. I said, I was on the Radio Continental with Pastor Fumi on Saturday. And one of the things I said was, the motives, the objectives, and the goal of parenting hasn't changed. Pastor Tokes, you hit it spot on. In my own words, it is to raise adults that would add value not just to themselves, but to the environment in which they find themselves. And that is not a journey that starts the day they become adults. It's a journey that you begin to groom them from the day they're born. And so what has happened is with digitalization, the methods of parenting have to change. You cannot parent the same way your parents parented you. You cannot parent the same way your grandparents parented your parents. You have to change your method. You have to make sure that your objective hasn't to raise value-driven individuals. And how do we bring that into the digital space? How do we bring in the values that we have imbibed when our parents, we sit down and we hear people talk about when I was growing up. In my own day, no way. There's so many things we say, the children of this generation, they have spoiled finish. The kind of things they do, I can't imagine. They're entitled, they're this, they're that, a lot of things. Now, I will try to keep within the confines. You can change the slide, please, whoever is controlling. I'll try to keep within the confines of parenting in a digital environment, but once in a while, I will stray off to other general parenting issues. For everything that we want to point accusing fingers at our children, we need to look at ourselves. Pastor Tok said, our children are like sponges. They soak up everything. They learn best by observation, not so much by what you say. They learn best by observation. So we need to be mindful of what it is that we're passing across. The slide on says that smart screen addiction. If we want to be honest, and one thing I encourage parents to be, is be very honest. I like my children because they have taught me a lot. They teach me to be honest. You can't even afford not to be honest with them because they will call you out. Even as parents, if we want to be honest, a lot of us are addicted to our phones.
This is a demonstration of
your phone, my phone, sleeps beside me. You wake up for a bathroom break, somehow, you will pick the phone to check. I honestly don't know what we're looking for. You get up in the morning, it doesn't help that your Bible, your devotional, and everything is on the phone. So you keep, now I'm advocating that you must go back to paper Bible. Do what you want. Read the word. However you want to read it, read it. However, we need to discipline ourselves. So you have about 12.5% of people who tell you outright that they're addicted. Something tells me that the numbers are a bit higher. Can we move to the next slide, please? Next one, please. Next one. All right. So, some time back, I was doing... I was going to write an article on the blog, and I started thinking about emotions in a digital space. And I remember that article was titled Likes Follows, and I think Likes Follows and Emotions. That's what it was called. And in my research, I realized that an experiment was carried out, a survey was carried out, and children equated the internet, Wi-Fi, the online world, with the same, they gave it the same rating as they gave oxygen. To them, it was vital for living. For them to have Wi-Fi, for them to have the internet, for them it was as good. If you say to them, take it, what you were saying to them was, I'm cutting off your air supply. Now, how do I know that that is true? Because my nephew, whose mother happens to be here, who comes to my house periodically after school. One time, our internet was not working. And he says to me, I cannot die. I cannot die. Please fix the internet. I thought it was a joke. And the next day, when he was to come after school, he wanted to come with the internet.
Demonstration of
Then it occurred to me, he's 7. Then yes, his exact words, I cannot come and die. I cannot come and die. I need the internet. Now, you see, it's easy for us to laugh about it. But if we understand how vital it is to a child, I am not saying we should allow them to be online 24/7. I'm saying we need to be sensitive to the emotions that they go through. Then we will know how to handle it. Then we would know that a child, you may think that, I remember we used to have running battles. What is wrong with these children? They are constantly on the phone. What is it? They're constantly chatting, constantly. What are they looking for? When you realize that for them, it goes beyond that. That is the space in which they're operating. That is where they connect. That is where they learn. That is where they represent. That is where they show off. That's where they establish relationships. Then you begin to teach them. You learn yourself and you begin to teach them how do they handle that environment. So when our parents, and even the Bible says, do not step foot into your neighbor's house too often. What does that mean in the digital space? What does it mean? When your parents say, sit down in your house, must you continue going to everybody's house? Translate it, because they won't stand up. In fact, part of your problem will probably be the fact that, go out now. Why are you constantly locked up in your room behind your phone? Part of the problem is go out. But the truth of the matter is they're going out.
This is a demonstration of
It's just that they're going out in the digital space. So we need to understand the environment that they're operating in. And we need to teach them the values and the skills that they need to be able to navigate that space safely and to be able to do it effectively. We need to learn how to do that. That, at the end of the day, is a subset of what digital intelligence is. And it's what digital citizenship is. I was saying the other day that our children are digital natives. And Pastor Fumi, so what are we? We're immigrants. We're immigrants because our children, a number of them, have never been born without technology. You know, as I was preparing for this, I remembered when I was in university. I went to ABU. My parents lived in Lagos. And you want to phone them. You will go to P&T. Then when you get there, you will write down the number. 0152879. The number was not even long. They will write down the number. Then you tell him, please help me phone Lagos. For 3 days, he'll be pulling the wire on one massive box. He'll push it in. He'll be pulling it. He'll push it in. Now, what has happened is times have changed. Times have changed. It's no longer, no, all you need to do is press and it's gone. You can talk to anybody, you can FaceTime, you can Skype, you can do everything. I'm giving this background for us to understand the space in which we're operating. Next slide, please. So what do our children do? They create in that space. They connect in that space. They learn in that space and they explore. I do not want anybody to leave here thinking that the internet is evil, is bad. There's nothing good. They just go there. What are you always doing there? There's so many benefits. So many benefits. If you want to know, ask Uber. If you want to know, ask Airbnb. If you want to know, ask all the digital platforms that are making multi-billion dollars. There's so many things. You can learn. If you want to know, ask churches that are having online services. And some of them, their congregation online is a lot larger than the people that sit in the house. So there are a lot of benefits in that space. But with benefits, there are also a lot of risks. You have privacy issues that can be compromised. You have oversharing. You have cyberbullying. You have plagiarism. You have safety and security issues. Like somebody said, our children are growing up in a digital playground, and there's no one on recess duty. We've just left them. We need to be intentional about raising responsible digital citizens. So what's parenting in a digital age? Parenting in a digital age is trying to get our children. Parenting in a digital age is trying to get our children live responsibly, grow responsibly, and be responsible citizens, value-adding citizens in that society. Who's a responsible
This
digital
is a
citizen? The next slide,
demonstration of
please.
Wirecast.
Responsible digital citizen is somebody who respects feelings. Feelings of themselves and feelings of other people. You respect feelings of yourself and feelings of other people. Now, you know, one of the things I've also realized is that we can be talking about how we can help parents. But one of the things that would help us is to be honest enough with ourselves to know that we too need to learn some of these things. Learning is important. We must continuously be learning. We're operating in a knowledge-based economy. You have to continually upskill and improve what you know. So it's respecting the feelings of others and feelings of yourself. So, since we already know that our children learn by observation, what do you teach them? You want to send a text to somebody or you to send a message to somebody. It's important we realize that the tone with which we communicate, when you communicate,
this is a
I'm sorry, break,
Wirecast.
please. I need to do this. I have one of our pastors in the house and I'd like her to please come forward. Pastor Moji, please, 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 please. And Deji, please come forward too. Thank you very much. You know, Pastor Fumi said, I'm a friend of the house. I'm sure it's allowed for me to break protocol once in a while. So please bear with me. Thank you very much.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
Okay, so we've talked about respecting feelings. And I said respect your feelings and respect the feelings of others. Respect your feelings and respect the feelings of others. And so we already know that our children observe. So what do you do? How do your text messages sound? How do you respect people online? What kind of comments do you pass? Then we also have to teach them being a responsible digital citizen has to do with acting responsibly. How do you conduct yourself? How do you comport yourself? What kind of language do you speak? What kind of comments do you pass? It has to talk about relating positively. Are you a bully? Many of us like to believe that it is not our children, it's the other one. Let's be honest. There are some tendencies that we see our children exhibit. And when my children were much younger, they would do some things and they would say they were joking. And I said, I don't understand this kind of joke. Call me old school. But I don't understand how calling somebody Ode is greeting. Ode, how are you? Doesn't make sense to me. As far as I'm concerned, it is being disrespectful. You know, and saying different things. And then keeping safe. A responsible digital citizen must be able to keep safe in that space. Pastor Tokes talked about going out late and coming back late and knowing that there are dangers. Are you aware of the dangers in that space? Are your children aware of the dangers in that space? It's about being productive. Not spending 12 hours doing absolutely nothing that is value adding. There's a time for leisure, but when your leisure time exceeds your learning time, then we have a problem. Then respecting property, not just yours. And I'm not just talking of the device. Yes, it's painful when you invest money to buy a device for a child, regardless of how much it costs. But what of the content? We have issues of plagiarism, cut and paste society or generation is what we call them. Because everything is on Google, you go, copy, paste. And then you go to a developed, thank God things are getting better in our nation. But we're not as mindful as we should about certain things. So you go to you go to school abroad, where they're very particular about plagiarism. You copy, you cut, you paste, you do not give credits. And you are facing a disciplinary panel. You are wondering why. And meanwhile, the parent did not tell them because the parent did not know. And you know that your child did not mean to be dishonest. It just so happened that the child did not know. Unfortunately, parenting is one aspect where ignorance is not bliss.
This is a demonstration
Educate yourself, empower yourself. We also need our children or responsible digital citizens to be able to think critically. And I dare say that we parents need to start first. A number of us are very quick to share everything that is shared or forwarded to us on WhatsApp, whether we do not take the time out to investigate and to check the authenticity of what it is that we're sharing. So you just read something, somehow it tickles something inside of you and you press forward.
This
And
is
then
a
you are spreading
demonstration
false
of
news. That's not
Wirecast.
critical thinking. How do you teach your children how to differentiate what is false and what is true? How do you teach them how to know what is harmful and what is not? How do you even teach them to know what is sensitive to be shared?
Right.
Whether it is a religious matter or it is a political, it's not everything that you need to be able to think critically and know the implications of what it is you're sharing. Then respecting privacy. Everybody is entitled to their privacy. I read, a pathetic story
This
of
is a
some
demonstration
mortuary
of
attendant
Wirecast.
who decided to take a selfie with the dead body. And I thought, and shared it on Facebook, and I thought to myself, how insensitive can people be? How insensitive. Some of us are very, I don't know whether to call it, what's that button that you press on your camera? Shutter, or, you're just quick to click, 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 and you're taking and you're forwarding. We need to sit down and think. For some people, the family haven't even heard
This is a
that the person has
demonstration
been
of
involved in an
Wirecast.
accident, and you take a picture and you post it, and next thing is traveling around. We need to know that to be able to raise responsible digital citizens, we need to first be responsible digital citizens. Next slide, please. Okay. Some of the core digital citizenship skills that we'll be looking at. And I'm not going to, we do not have the time to go into it in details, but we'll give an overview.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
One is self-image and identity. Second one is relationships and communication. The third one is digital footprints and reputation. Then we have cyberbullying and digital drama. We have information literacy, internet safety, privacy and security, and creative credit and copyright. When I was being introduced, I was introduced as the DQ ambassador. And DQ is, well, we have this movement called the hashtag DQ Every Child. What is our objective? Our objective is to empower 20 million children by 2020 globally with digital citizenship skills. When you talk about, next slide please. When you talk about the DQ, like Fumi said, is Digital Intelligence Quotient. And it's the hashtag DQ Every Child is a movement by coalition comprising of the DQ Institute in Singapore, the World Economic Forum, and some ICT companies and government. They realize that one of the critical skills, we've talked about IQ, the intelligence quotient. We've talked about EQ, your emotional quotient. A third critical skill that your children must have and that everybody must have is digital intelligence. Because everything, even your fridge is digital. You have smart fridges these days. Every car, very soon, you will now see one car that is moving on the road that has no driver and you start shouting, hey! Knowing us on this side of the world, we probably would think that it's somebody in the village that has done something. But meanwhile, the driverless cars are coming. How prepared are we for that? So what DQ does is we have what we call 8 core skills. Don't worry if it's not clear. I'll talk through the what's it called? We have 8 core digital citizenship skills. Let me say that when you talk of your digital quotient, there are 3 phases. There's a digital citizenship, there's a digital creativity, and then there's a digital entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, or not unfortunately, the reality is that a lot of emphasis has been on the digital creativity and digital entrepreneurship, and that's probably because we're constantly thinking of how we can make money and how we can create, improve our lifestyle. But once the foundation is not properly built, we're going to be in trouble. And that is where the citizenship addresses. That's where the skills come into play. We've all heard about hacking. There's ethical hacking and there's unethical hacking. How do you make sure that the robots that are coming up are created not to be causing havoc, but to actually be adding value? And that's where these skills come in. So let me quickly run through the 8 core skills that we want to equip our children with. The first one is the digital citizen identity. And that is taking our children through the ability to build a healthy, congruent identity offline and online. You cannot be one thing
This
offline
is a demonstration
and another
of
thing online.
Wirecast.
Who are you? You must be consistent. You cannot, some people unfortunately think that virtual world makes you invisible. Far from it. You are very, very visible. Forget by whatever name you want to call. You can call yourself a roundabout cube or whatever you want to call yourself. You are still, if people mean to look for you, they will look for you. If somebody is determined to trace you, they will trace you. So don't try and hide behind an identity that you've created. What identity do our children have online and offline? That's a core skill. Screen time management, very important, not just for our children, but for ourselves. I need help in the area of screen time management. Need to know, before we used to talk about work-life balance. Now we're talking about screen time balance. And your screen is anything from your television, which can be smart, to the game console, to your laptop, to your MacBook, to your telephone. Anything. How do you manage it? When do you say, enough is enough, this thing has to go off? Let me put it down for a while and do something else. Even if not for anything, for the sake of your eyes. Put it down. Because it does take a toll on your eyes. It takes a toll physically, it takes a toll mentally. So screen time management, your ability to manage your screen time, multitasking, and engagement in online games, social media, and self-control. Then you have cyberbullying management. Do your children know how to detect a cyberbully? Do they know what to do in a bullying situation? Do they know what would be done to them if they're caught being cyberbullies? Then you have cybersecurity management. That's one a lot of us are very familiar with. Make sure you have passwords. Make sure that you keep you try to avoid spams and scams and all that. Then you have privacy management, very important. Your ability to handle with discretion. Personal information shared online is not everything you share. Evans, the billionaire kidnapper, has been trending. Where did Evans say he got most of his information from? Facebook. Some of us, want to be part of the Pepperdem gang. So we'll go and put hashtag in Dubai. Going to Dubai, flying tomorrow. And then everybody knows, okay, the whole family is traveling, so there won't be anybody in the house. This is the time to rob. And then you're wondering, how do they know? You posted online. You posted it online. Or you put there, yes, you're proud of your child. Fantastic. Put there the school uniform, the name of the school, the everything, name of the driver, and then somebody goes and has access to your child. I don't know how many of us watched this social experiment that went round on WhatsApp, where parents had educated their children on not talking to strangers in the park. And parents, honestly, we need to wake up because a lot of us are in denial. 90% of the parents that were interviewed swore that their children would never go home with a stranger. So this gentleman says, okay, so because it's an experiment and he doesn't want to be accused, he goes to the parent and says, you know what, I need to talk. Are you sure you've trained your... Yeah, I have. Okay, no problem. So the gentleman goes, and he goes with a puppy. I don't like dogs, so if they had come with a puppy, I would have taken off. But these children happen to love... So he comes with a puppy, and he says, hello, do you like the puppy? He says, yes. Do you want to play with him? Yes. I have more in my car. Follow me. And the child follows. Not one, not two. Some parents were crying
of Wirecast.
That they thought they had told their children everything they needed to know. How do we make sure that they're safe? We need to teach them critical thinking, ability to distinguish between what is true and false, what is good and harmful, and what is trustworthy and what is questionable. The other day there was something that went around on WhatsApp about Donald Trump listing out some Nigerians that had stolen money, and they listed some banks in America. Some of those banks don't even exist. Meanwhile, some people who do not investigate were quick to start forwarding and forwarding. What are you forwarding? What are you forwarding? If you do not know what to do, then how do you teach your children? You need to let them know that it is not everything. And sorry, as an aside on this forwarding, you see there is wisdom, and wisdom must be learnt in parenting. A number of us flood our children with what they forward to us.
This
And they
is a
have
demonstration of
complained
Wirecast.
African parents. They are constantly forwarding. Anything they forward to them, they forward. Listen to them. I'm not saying you shouldn't forward, but so that you do not lose what it is you actually want to communicate. It's not everything. Be selective in what you are forwarding to them. Yes, you want them to learn. Yes, there are learning opportunities, but be very selective in what you want them to learn. Then there's a digital footprint. For every time you go online, you leave a footprint.
Of Wirecast.
For every time your child goes online, they leave a footprint. And that's why you have nude photos and sex videos coming up that people never ever thought would surface. First and foremost, like Pastor Tokes said, there are certain things our children must know and not know. What are you doing? What are you doing taking a nude picture first and foremost? Let's even start from there. Let's even forget that you want to post it online. What exactly are you looking for?
This is a
that you just decide that, okay,
Wirecast.
let me strip and take a picture of myself. Why? Okay, you did it. Maybe you wanted to check whether you had put on weight. It's possible. Maybe you wanted to check the color of a part of your body you couldn't see. It's possible. What possessed you to press send to your trusted friend that you can quarrel with tomorrow, who will use it against you? What were you thinking? Unfortunately, adults are taking such pictures.
This is
For
a demonstration of Wirecast.
You take a part of your body that you feel they will never be able to put two and two together. You never can tell. Somebody somewhere who means you will use that picture against you. So digital footprints are being left everywhere. Then digital empathy. What is empathy? The ability to put yourself in another person's position. All right. So those are the 8 core skills that the dqworld.net teaches you. Those are the 8 core skills that the DQ
Wirecast.
Institute wants to pass on through the hashtag DQ Every Child movement. Those are the 8 core skills that every responsible digital citizen should have. We don't have time to go through them in depth. The dqworld.net has, you can take your children through 1 hour every week for 10 weeks, and they will cover it. And the beautiful part about it, it's tailored for ages 8 to 12, and it is free. It is simple, it is free, it is online. Before we end, those who want to register their children, I'll take you through the steps. It's something we can do while we're here. But for those that have children outside of that age range, we also have other programs that we can run to equip them with the digital skills. And even for parents, based on the feedback that I've gotten, I think it's important that we have a 1-day program that is targeted at equipping us with those skills. After all, they say you can't give what you do not have.
This is a demonstration
So there are a few
Wirecast.
tips that I'd like to share with us on digital parenting. 1, set the rules. We talked about boundaries. There must be boundaries. But your boundaries must be age appropriate, and your boundaries must be realistic. Age appropriate, realistic. The reason why we set rules is so that we can reinforce what our values are. That's the reason why. So bullying is not allowed in our family. Therefore, we set rules.
Is a demonstration
Being
of
unkind
Wirecast.
to people or looking down on people is not allowed in our family. So what does that mean? Whether you're offline or online, you do not operate like that. In our family, when we were growing up, they'll tell us, remember where you're coming from. Remember where you're coming from. In our family, we do not do this, whether it's online or offline. So you set rules, and you use those to reinforce values. Keep the lines of communication open. If there's one thing I will drum and drum and drum, keep the lines of communication with your children open. Pastor Tokes, when he was talking about tattoo, somebody behind me said, "Ah!" And I thought to myself, that is exactly the kind of reaction we don't want to learn. Let me tell you a secret. As a parent, you need to learn the art of absorbing shock. They will tell you something you are wondering, hey, you dare not. Dare not open your mouth and say, yeah. You say, eh. You just, the worst you can do is learn how to adjust on your seat. Okay, tell me more. You calm down. Inside you say, I'm coming. Let me quickly go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom and start wondering, Father, help me. Which kind of wahala is this? Then you go back and say, okay, tell me more. You must keep the lines of communication open. If not, they will shut down. They will not tell you anything. I'll tell you a story, and I have permission to share the story. I will not disclose identities. I had written a blog article, and a friend of mine read it, and therefore decided that, okay, she should get involved in her children's online life, and she decided to sign up on Instagram. She signs up on Instagram, and she sees a picture of her daughter. I never saw the picture, but I honestly don't think it was that bad. She was probably showing a bit of cleavage. Should she be showing cleavage? No. But my friend's reaction is a reaction you must learn never to have. Immediately, she said, calls her daughter, what are you selling? What are you selling on the internet? Come on, will you take down that picture? Come on, will you take down the picture? What exactly are you selling? And the daughter obviously reacts. And I said to her, I said, your daughter is going to block you. She's going to block you straight on Instagram. True to it, the daughter blocked her. So one day she comes to me and says, Charity, help me look for my daughter on Instagram. So I look for the daughter. She said, true, this girl has blocked me. I said, but I warned you. You reacted wrongly. Now, there's a way you first absorb the shock, put yourself together, and learn how to pass across the information that you want to pass across. If you know you can't even do it yourself, recruit helpers. I hope not the children are not listening. They won't hear our secret. You recruit helpers, people that you send the auntie or uncle that they like to say, what were you doing there? I saw you. Then you will play as if you didn't know anything about it. Because you need to keep those lines of communication open. And that brings me to the next point. You must be a skilled first responder. What do I mean by that? Who is a first responder? In emergency, you dial, I think in Lagos we dial 199, Abi? 112. You dial 112. Imagine your child is in a situation. Maybe they were not thinking and then they took one picture and posted it online and they were semi-nude. Or maybe something has happened and then they dial 112 and they dispatch you to the scene. And you get there and you say, this child has killed me. Hey, can you imagine the kind of trouble this child has put me through? How could you do this? What were you thinking? You are finished today. Imagine now that there was an accident and they sent the first responder there. He got there and he saw the blood and said, yeah, you are finished. This accident is a very bad accident. How are we going to do it? What are we going to do? I don't know how to help you. That means you are not a skilled first responder. Your child will not call you the next time. You want to be positioned such that your child can call you. Even though they know that it's likely daddy will not be happy or mommy will not be happy. At least in the immediate, let's first try and solve the emergency, Abby, and then let's now go and discuss. We'll now find out why did this thing happen. How can we guard against it in future? Don't panic. Don't overreact. We're too fond of overreacting and panicking. We would not add any value to them. That's a tip we must take, whether it's online or offline. Then raise your own DQ. Like I said, learn. The good thing about the internet is we have a lot of information. A lot of information. Just look for the right thing. After you are going to Linda Ikeji, leave her small. She's making plenty of money. And go and learn something that will add value to your parenting style. Then lead by example. We've talked about it. Our children are sponges. They suck in everything. Pay attention. A lot of us do not pay attention to our children. We're very mindless, working around. So your child comes home from school, constantly goes into the room and just sits down. All of a sudden, there's a change in attitude. You're not even paying attention. You need to begin to use style to find out what exactly is going on. It's possible that child is being bullied in school. It's possible. I read somewhere that if your child comes in, immediately rushes into the bathroom, check. If it becomes too frequent, it may be that every time the child wants to go to the bathroom in school, There are bullies waiting. So he or she waits until he or she gets home. Little telltale signs that ordinarily we would overlook. We need to look out. Little telltale signs that ordinarily we would overlook. We need to look out for those signs. We need to pay attention. What exactly is going on? Has your child switched off? Is your child talking less? Is your child talking more? Is your child sneaking out? Is your child spending more time on the internet? Is your child talking about asking questions? Pay attention when your children ask questions. Another story. A friend of mine says to me that her daughter came and said to her, what is the meaning of the F word? So she decided to play ignorant and said, oh, it's an implement you use for eating. Because the child is smart, the child knew that there was more to that. I mean, that wasn't the answer. Because her friends that she heard discussing that F word, that wasn't the context in which. And since mommy normally tells her, Google it, she went and she Googles it. So she Googles the F word. How she knew? Obviously, she knew how to spell it, because if she had spelled the other one that her mother was trying to convince her was the word, it won't come up. And images popped up. As the images popped up was when her mother walked in and saw images open and freaked out and went ballistic and landed one or two slaps, first and foremost, before adjusting, And the girl eventually, when they calmed down, says to her, but mommy, you're always saying I should Google it. Pay attention. When your child asks you a question, first of all, try and test where that question is coming from. Does the child have an idea and just wants to clarify? Or is the child totally clueless? And then you begin to guide them based on what you perceive is their ability and the level at which they are to get the information that you want. Pay attention to things that, if you have older children, pay attention. Have they suddenly decided that they don't want to be, you see them, maybe they're constantly behind the phone. And all of a sudden, they're no longer behind their device all the time. You want to find out, maybe there's something that's happening there that they've decided to leave that space. And then the next thing is start. Do not feel intimidated. Do not feel that, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Just start. Look, as the mere fact that you're a parent, you have skills and wisdom to parent. All you need to do is just make a slight adjustment and move into that space. Okay. So what are the things we should remind our children? We should remind them that they should be positive examples and influences online. It's possible, just like you would tell your child offline, go and be an example. You are a leader. I know who you are. Tell them, be a positive example and a positive influence online. Stand up based on the values that we have taught you. We've taught you that if you see evil, do not keep quiet. Tell your parents, if you do not have the capacity, tell your teachers. Teach them that they should be positive examples and influences online. Teach them that personal information is valuable and they must be mindful what they share. Don't brag. Don't lie. It's incredible how people lie on social media. The other day, a popular artist was accused of posting pictures of twins that were not his own. I don't get it. Why? Would you want to do that? You want to keep up appearances. You want to give an impression of who you're not. So you go and post, and then you stand by somebody's car, and the person with the plate number or the owner of the car sees the plate number and says, that's my car, and then you are disgraced. So teach them personal information is even if it's true, it's not everything. Yoruba people will say, Olowo King Pariwo. It's not everything that you keep making noise about. Then teach them to do unto others what they would want others to do unto them. So if somebody mistakenly or stupidly sent you a picture that you did not want to, that you know they shouldn't have sent, should the next thing you do be to pass it around?
This is a demonstration.
What would you want somebody to do to you if you did that? And then no matter what, based on what I've said about the first responder, no matter what, let them know that they can always talk to you. And the only way they would believe that is based on your reaction. And the only way they will believe that is based on the fact that you have a clue. Some of us are clueless. So they can't even come and meet you to say, okay, mommy, my device is not working. What do I do? Talk less of even content. They're using their slangs. You have no idea what they're talking about. What did we teach them? Next slide, please.
Of Wirecast.
We must teach our children to think. And the think is an acronym. Is it true? Before you post anything on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, is it true? Is it hurtful? Would it hurt anybody? Is it illegal? Is it necessary? Must you share it? And is it kind? And then we must teach them that no matter how educated you think you are, and no matter how much you think you know more than in this space, I'm the one who taught you how to use a spoon.
This is a demonstration.
So if I ask you to teach me how to use the computer and you sit down and make fun of me, you are in deep trouble. That I do not know how to use it now does not mean I will not know how to use it tomorrow. We must remind our children. Yeah? We've taught them a couple of things that they do not know. All right. So, who are we? I was told by the organizers, Pastor Fomi and Pastor Tokes, to bring my materials. This is the material. I have no books to sell. But I can tell you about our organization, Ravetal. And what we do is we're a social enterprise that works with parents and schools and government to empower children to make informed decisions by reinforcing the values, attitudes, and life skills that they need, both offline and online, so that they can impact the society positively. What we have done is we've realized that there are economic realities, there are technological gaps, and there are generational gaps. So with the best will in the world, a lot of us may not be able to do what it is that we want to do. We will never take the place of a parent in the home. However, we can work with you in helping you improve the skills of your children. So we realize that those gaps exist. We realize that economic reality, some of us are juggling so many jobs. So even the time that we would love to spend with our children and access some of the resources that we have. And what are some of those resources? We have a program called Resolve. And Resolve is actually the acronym for Rave et al. Empowering students on living values every day. And it's a program that we take to schools to talk to either the children or the teachers or your PTA. Sometimes you can find out that as a school, you are actually teaching your children things, but the parents are undermining and just confusing the children. So you want to have a session for the parents. If you have a school, we'll be happy to come and talk to them. Then we have the blog, which we talked about, www.parentinvestment.com. And I must say that for everybody that is sitting down here, the investment that you have made of your time to come and sit down so that you can equip yourselves with skills that will help you parent better is commendable. And I think we should all give ourselves a round of applause. Then we have the hashtag DQEveryChild, which is a unique global education movement developed by the DQ Institute Coalition that is aimed at empowering every 8 to 12-year-old child around the world with DQ, digital citizenship skills. Those are the 8 skills that I took us through. Before I round up, like I said, we'll just show that slide briefly. Then we have the R Codes. R Codes is the program that is targeted at children ages 13 plus on the digital citizenship skills. If you're interested in knowing about any of those programs, please feel free to talk to us. Go to our website or to any of our social media handles. I'll leave you with a quote. The best way to have a good online reputation is to have a good, great offline reputation. You cannot be what you are online or create a persona online without having the core values that you need offline. So if you're a liar offline, you cannot suddenly be honest online. It's not going to happen. Thank you very much. And
you can do better than that, really. Have we learned something? Okay.
This is a demonstration
like
of Wirecast.
Register on DQ. What are these?
DQworld.net.
DQworld.net. How many people would like to do that?
If you have children within that age, okay, it's. Okay. Can you show the slide?
Can you please stand up a bit? Let's see how many people. What's children within 8 to 12?
Yes, 8 to 12.
Okay, you have children.
Okay, yeah, you have the forms already. Yes. Okay, it's actually something that we can do very quickly. If you have your device and if you have internet, you can just go type www.dqworld.net.
This is a demonstration
I gave a
of
slide,
Wirecast.
another slide, please, if you can show that.
Now,
dqworld.net.
we haven't mentioned money. You know, church, the only time we give money in church, how many people know the time? When they tell us to sow. We are so warped in our understanding of adding value that we don't even know how to add value to ourselves. So when they want to bait you, they will now tell you, sow so that you can reap. Let me tell you, the principle
This
of
is
life.
a demonstration of Wirecast.
Seed time and harvest time will never end. And whatever a man sows, he will reap. If you sow ignorance, what will you reap? That cannot be ignorance. If you sow ignorance, because we reap, not in the proportion that we sow, but in a higher dimension. So if you sow ignorance, what will you reap? Failure, sabotage, mishap, accident, calamity. They will just come in quick succession. But if you sow intelligence,
This is a demonstration
education,
of
what do
Wirecast.
you save time, you save money, you save so many things. I don't know, she said it's free. But does anything good really come free? But she says it's free. But I think if I were you, I will find out. Because every time they say something is free, I've trusted these Oyinbo people. There will always be one behind.
Trust me, DQ World Net is totally, completely free. The only thing it requires of you is your time. It is a self-learning
This is a
platform.
demonstration of
And because we
Wirecast.
want you to equip yourselves too with the skills, that's why when you go on, if you go on to dqworld.net, it is simple, it is
You are
free.
free to go on now.
You're free to go on now on your device, dqworld.net. You get on and you have a lot of material there. You have a workbook. So if you want to take, this is fantastic timing because summer is coming. And a lot of us are wondering what we would use as a distraction for our children is to say, please, go and sit down and be playing with the computer or go and sit down and be playing. Let's make sure that it is a productive time for them. Okay. So you go, you have the workbook, and you can just take out 20, 30 minutes every week to say, okay, what skill did you learn this week? Let's quickly run through. That way, you are not even telling them that you don't know. So you are learning.
What about those of us that have children under 8? Is there any help?
Those that have under, you see, it's slightly flexible, maybe to 7-year-olds. It depends on the capacity of your child's ability to learn and the exposure to how much they use device and how they would understand. By the time you register your child on the platform, you'll be able to tell whether you can register your younger child. Or just go and take a look. dqworld.net. The next slide, please. If you go there, you see where it says sign up now. You click on sign up now, and this is what pops up. You click on student. Click on student. The next slide. And this is what pops up. In case it's not coming up, it could be a network problem or what's it called. If you have problems with it coming up, please just fill out the form and we can do it for you and you get an email. So you quickly fill that. You create a username for your child. Create a password. Please, no, you're moving a bit too fast. Create a username, create a password that your child will remember. Please remember, the game is not for you. It's for your child. Eh?
After registration is for the children.
It's for the children. Okay. It's for your children. So you register, but once you register them, you have access to the workbook and the teacher or parent material. So you can use that to upgrade your own skills. Because we want to encourage parents to be a part of the whole process. You need to get involved in your children's online life. Once you do that, the next page, please, you will get an email. The email, it will tell you to activate the account. You activate the account, and that's it. Once you go on, there's a short tutorial to teach your child how to play. You can't move to the next level until you finish one. Your child will earn badges. Your child will earn some other stickers and all that online. And you would leave with a more skilled, better skilled, equipped digital citizen.
Thank you so much. Please, you're still going to stand, or would you want a chair? Okay, we would like you to ask some questions, but I want to say if you look at this, you can also support this ministry. Okay? You can support. How can you do so? I'll tell you one quick way. Most of us have our children in schools, right? Either we are the owners of the school or we are members of the PTA or we are influencers.
This is a
You need to
demonstration of
introduce this to the
Wirecast.
organization, or to the authorities of the school, so they can allow them come in and train the parents. To go visit a school will cost as little as 50,000 naira. I think a school can afford that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like to come and give this kind of talk and expose the school authority to this. Okay? If you as an individual would like to be trained personally, I think they would tell you to do it for free, but you can support them with as little as 5,000 naira. Why do we encourage that? Because everything answers to naira and kobo. We don't shy away from the fact that to operate the internet, to put fuel in our car, it costs money. So we're not going to wait for you to sow a seed. We're just asking you, be responsible Nigerian citizens and pay for what is productive. Is that a good thing to do? So I would encourage you, read and find a way to support. Here we train our people to be deliberate, to be intentional. And every time you want to benefit from something, you partner with. Because you are saying to yourself, it costs me. I don't know how to interpret that. When you get a drug that you did not pay for, you probably will not use it up, which was why we abused chloroquine. Because they give it to us in the hospitals for free then. Once you use the first one, the first dose, and especially because it's also bitter, immediately we use the first dose and the fever goes down, we don't use the rest. Now that we are paying so much for Quartem, we finish it. Do you have a witness? The thing has moved from 1,000 to 1,500. Now it's 2,000 something. We're now looking for alternatives for the Lutem, Ruka. They just call it all different names. Because now we're paying for it. We use it. So learn to pay for things. Learn to find out. I am a digital immigrant. What did you call it?
Yeah, digital immigrant.
Is it immigrant or migrant?
No, you are trying to migrate.
I'm trying to migrate. Okay, I'm moving in, and I'm asking her, please teach me. Since you are the guru in this place, those of us that are rookies, help us so that we will not be illiterate completely. It is important for you to. Do I have questions? Do you have questions you want to ask her before she goes to sit down? I know most of us are illiterates in this thing. It's fine. And most of us are being exposed to this for the first time. I found out that it's only your kids that are friends with you on Facebook. Once they become teenagers, they are no longer your friends. Most children say, oh, I'm not doing social media. They are. They're using a different name and different identity.
Sorry, I need to add this. And for those who have older children, you see, know that your children can have multiple accounts online. So they are your friend with one particular account where there are only 3 posts. Then they have another one that they are very active with 400 posts. And you'll be wondering that, no. Now, there must be a reason why they have decided to give you the 3 posts. So it is important that you cultivate a relationship with your children. You must earn their trust. They must be able to trust you. That's the only way you can guide them. That's the only way you can go in and know how to help them navigate life. No child is the same. Children are different. We would apply different methods to bringing them up. Please, let's always remember that.
Okay. I have a question here on this row. This way. Please, can you raise your hand if you want to ask a question? Not that after he's asked. That's a second question. And one more, and that will be it, so that we don't stay here forever. Okay, thank you. Yes, Rabbi Soyi, your question.
Okay, I want to know particularly when a parent should consider unsupervised use of the internet.
Unsupervised?
Unsupervised use. The truth of the matter is that the early years, possibly has to be an age limit before you consider leaving the child.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
For us, we find it pretty difficult having our son, who's 6 years old, use the internet alone. And many times he wants to search a subject or a topic, and he's accustomed to using the videos. But we restrain and say, oh no, you can't use it without us being there. You can't use our phone. So when exactly would be best to balance unsupervised use of the internet?
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
All right. Now, the truth of the matter is that it's a bit difficult to legislate on ages because the maturity level of children differ. However, supervision does not necessarily have to be only physical. There are filters that you can put. There's software that you can install that will ensure that if you cannot be there physically, your children do not accidentally go to sites that they have no business going to. It is wise if you have the time until such a time that the child has reached an age of accountability. What that age is, I cannot tell you. But I mean, if maybe about 12, 13, you try and be with that child and once in a while, check what it is that they're doing. Now, how can you check? One, you do not necessarily have to sit there, depending on the age. Sit down there while they're doing the homework. There's always a history. There's a history of everywhere your child has gone to on the computer. You can make it a point of duty to say, okay, once in a while, I'll check the history. What's the browsing history? There, like I said, there's softwares and there are filters that you can put on. Again, if you have the time, sit down. Know what interests them. Look at what, and then there are a number of these tablets that have educational apps that you can use for homework. So that is, I mean, that's one way to help.
What's your email? They can chat you and ask you questions. What's your email?
Me?
No, they cannot chatter without paying.
Yeah,
no, for me it's joking.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
No, I'll give you all that. All that.
Church
detail.
people like things for free.
My name is Charity, so I'm sure that speaks a lot. All that is here. All the information you need. Our products and programs that are fee paying, you would know. But I mean, my email address is on this, so please feel free.
You know why I'm saying that? You know, she's excited because she's been the most computer guru person. You know, especially as a woman. And now she's doing something. She's into parenting now. She's teaching the digital thing. She's excited. But I don't want us to wear her out. Using the money from other sources, you know, to fund this. I'm going to teach you how to put some gateway.
Okay.
They're going to pay.
No, we'll do trade by barter.
Okay.
I'll help
money.
you.
I teach money.
I teach DQ.
You teach DQ.
No problem.
I'm a digital immigrant.
No problem.
But you are a money what? Money illiterate.
No problem.
You know,
no
because
problem.
I'm telling you, I want something that is sustainable.
Wirecast.
I want something she can do. Even if the access code is 1,000 naira, let them pay something so that it costs them. I will not offer unto God what costs me what? Nothing. Let it cost them. Then they will be serious. And if you tell them, I will meet with you for 10 minutes every week, it will mean something. So we can work it out. I don't know how to do that I don't know how to do that on the internet.
Yes, teacher.
But I don't want you to die young.
No,
I need you for a long time. So because if all these people send you email and you are answering it, you are the cost of data now. Hello, somebody.
No problem.
So we take the second question.
Sorry, I hope I helped with your question. Somewhat. Okay.
So you can get the filter.
No, but the bottom line is a child that is 18. You don't want to be supervising.
No, it's this, a child that is below.
But for the younger children, test. You begin to give them allowances as they prove themselves responsible. So initially you start with personal supervision. Then you begin to check the history. Then you set up filters. Then you leave them for a while. Because at the end of the day, if you have instilled in them the core values, there are certain things they will not do. The moment they even go there, they know, I have no business being here. And they move.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ma.
No problem.
Yeah, we have another question. This is the coordinator of our Wisdom School. Our Wisdom School is a children's ministry, Dr. Dolapo. So ask your question. So I'm sure she's asking for herself and for every member of our team.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation, ma'am. I just want to ask about
demonstration of
Wirecast. To
Wirecast.
whatever a child reads on the internet. For instance, they have assignments and they need to go, on the internet to get information. How do you teach them to avoid plagiarism, even right from now?
Okay. It's important to give credit to whom credit is due. So if you are look, we all get information from the internet. Now, value added is when you are able to own the information you have gotten. If you are lifting something verbatim and you want to give the impression that it was you who came up with it, you are a thief. That is what we need to teach them. Right. So you go, you get information. If you know you are lifting somebody's information, give due credit to that person. According to Fumi Johnson, if you want to go far, you have to learn how to charge money. Bam, put it there. According to Charity Babatunde, it's good to have a charitable spirit. Bam, put it there. Whatever it is, make sure that you are quoting the person. If you have gotten information here and there, and you are mixing it, you are adding your own knowledge, you are making it your own, then you don't have to quote anybody. Nobody will tell you that you are guilty of plagiarism. Wow. I hope that helps. So that usually acts as a
guide.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, what we're going to do is, the next speaker, wow, I think this thing is just advancing and advancing. The area is going to talk about, do you want to sit down for a bit?
No, okay, I thought you were done.
Is there one more question? Please sit down. Let them gather their question while I say this. Please, can you put your hands together? For this indomitable, irrepressible woman of timber and caliber. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. And I want to deliberately recognize our own sister as well. It's her first time coming into a church. That is Pastor Moji Awo Koya. Yeah, I will not forget. God bless you. She was a pioneer for Chinese takeaway in Nigeria. I remember the first time she started the restaurant. It was, for you to eat Chinese food, you have to pay an arm and a foot. And then it was like a unique selling point for her to bring that on. And then she brings on this food that is very, very, very good. And then we went for one function sometimes ago, a few weeks back, and the food came and said, oh, yeah, okay. I told you I don't go to parties. Yeah, many people remember that. Because those parties that are just so poor, they will be scavenging for food, and it will be as if I said, I stay in my house and eat proper food. I said, oh, yeah, okay. As I was just taking it, then I now saw who was behind it. I said, no wonder. So, I don't know what she does that. I've lost touch with her for a long time, but she's a food icon. Thank you for coming. Thank you, and God bless you for also supporting my friend who doesn't know how to charge money. I'll consult for you, but you pay me for consultation. God bless you. God bless you. She's not as long as she looks. She's only pretending. Thank you, Pastor Moji, for coming. God bless you. Now, we're going to take a short break. And let me tell you why. Now, you're wondering, how come normally when we have couples breakfast, we have like 1,000 people. How come we don't have a lot of people? Because we said breakfast would not be given for free. Yes, that's why I tell you, when there's no money, it's only people that value you that will come. We have made provision for food, subsidized at a very affordable rate. So for 25 minutes, we're going to eat. If we let Presto go on before eating, most of you would just say that is the icing on the cake. We want to keep the icing on until when the cake is cool. You don't ice the cake until the cake is cold. When you bake, you leave it for a while. If it doesn't get cold on time, you put fan on it so that it gets cold. Then you can put the icing. So we're going to put the icing right after the food. So we have two ways you can go down: this way and the other way, and there is plenty. They haven't given me the menu, and it's very subsidized. So you can quickly take the food, but you have just 25 minutes, and the clock starts counting now.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
You want to go? Yes.